Kia ora, g'day, welcome back once again, here with another reaction to Mr. DJ Shipley, SEAL Team 6 / DevGuru operator on the Shawn Ryan Show. So let's jump back in.
Like 18. Yeah.
I rode that train for a while, tram it all. And I'm just curious, how did you know it was an issue? What happened? With me personally, I knew it was an issue when I ran out, and I felt what that felt like without having any, and that fucking hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Is that?
Yeah. So I had just came back from a deployment. Into a nasty firefight, bad one.
First, before DJ carries on, I love that Shawn's lent into this, and that he's also been vulnerable and shared some of his experience too with regards to tramadol and the withdrawals or the addiction that he had. I didn't know about that till he just mentioned it. So I think anyway, it helps open the doorway for other people. I think DJ would have lent into it anyway, been asked the question, but it definitely helps when your host or the person interviewing you has shared experience and is willing to be vulnerable to share what that was like for them to a degree. So yeah, let's delve into this. So just hearing, yeah, it's in a nasty firefight.
A lot of really close proximity shit. Ate a bunch of grenades. The long and short of it was, because of the proximity to it, we had to use some breaching charges and some ordnance, essentially on top of yourself, to get out of this certain situation. And it fucked us up, man. Like no eye pro, no ear pro. I mean, grenades landing between me and you. Just a cumulative effect. These little concussions, it blew out both ears. Oh man. I mean, just, by the end of it, I've blown out both ears. I've torn both labrums and both shoulders, both hip labrums, gone. Crunched a bunch of shit in my lower back and my neck. So I needed to have surgery on both shoulders and both hips and my back by the time the whole thing was done. And I didn't realize how bad it was. Fuck, I don't know. Do we get into it? Do we talk about the...
Yeah,
okay.
Let's get into it.
Okay, fuck it. So the backside of this is we had a dude that did the Kenya Mall attack. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So it's that dude. So it's around the Horn of Africa, and we are going to go get this dude. It's a president-directed mission. So it's a big one. The biggest one that I've ever done for sure. Intel's painting a picture that's maybe not accurate. Beachside bungalow. Like, he goes there to watch TV, hang out, be super 9, in and out. Cool. Not the fucking case. We get there, we've planned, we've rehearsed, and we've done all our shit. I'm running the primary breach on the first floor. I go up and over the gate. I should probably start off with, we swam in. So that's a whole different set of problems. We swam in a slaughterhouse offshoot. So you can imagine all the great white sharks. It's a real fucking thing. That's the fastest I ever swam in my life. So.
Holy crap. Geez, a slaughterhouse offshoot. Yeah, great white sharks. Oh, far out, man. Just cracks me up the just how calm he is, even when he retells a story. That's the fastest I've ever swam in my life. Bloody, no doubt, I bet. Frickin' heck. We
swam in, we do our whole thing. I go up and over, and I'm messing around with the locking mechanism on the gate to try to get it open. And there's a string going from the gate. It looks like it's going inside. And now I think that was an early warning device. I think it was hooked to a bell. It was hooked to something. We get the gate open. We bring everybody in. And as we are rolling up to the front door, they start getting contact on the roof. Guy comes out, shoots, skips off one of the guy's helmet. Now the firefight ensues. And it's 3 stories, and it's getting fucking chaotic, dude. Like, they have been prepping for this for a long fucking time, and this is not a beachside bungalow. There's no doors. They're all walled up from the inside. There's nothing to attack. You can't see anything. It's like I'm trying to get the door open, but you don't know where the hinges are. You don't know what it is. It's this huge, super thick door. Fuck, man. It probably must have been 6 inches thick.
So it's a fucking fortress.
It's a fucking fortress, dude. It's a literal fortress. They start getting contact on the roof, and we sprint up the front door. And as we go to divide, this dude opens up on the front door and lets it go. And you just see splinters of wood, and it just fucking traces us and doesn't hit anybody. We roll to either side, and now we're trying to deal with this problem. The hate coming out of that front door was nothing like I've ever seen. It just continuous, ascending it. And the way it ended up being was a long wall, the door in the center. I'm on one side, and I've got my shooting buddy on the other side, and I've got my team leader behind me. And we're trying to figure this out. Like, we have to get inside, but we're not supposed to kill this dude. That was the whole thing, is for whatever reason, the powers that be really wanted this dude alive. And the last thing they told us before we went, I would rather you shoot him 100 times and he lives than shoot him 1 time and he dies. Bring him back alive. Well, I'm fucking committed. We all are. We're going to bring that dude back alive. We came up with every plan we could have. And at the end of the day, if you don't want to be captured, you're not capturing the dude. You're just not. Especially in that part of the world, which is how violent they are. I mean, you've seen Black Hawk Down. That's the most realistic war movie I've ever fucking watched. That's exactly how it is. They are fucking... and they come on quick. So we're in this shitstorm in the middle of the door. And I'm trying to decide how I'm going to blow this thing. I've got my charge in my hand. It's already capped in. I've got my hydrogel peeled. I'm ready to stick this thing, and I'm timing between his bursts coming through the door. So you see it all chew up. Like 3, 2, wham, goes live again. You're like, motherfucker, man. You're just timing it. He finally goes, and I slap this thing. And there's nowhere to roll. There's just nothing to do. You got to eat it. It's like, luckily for me, the guy behind me is super experienced. I mean, we all are very experienced breachers, and we knew we could take it. We've been there before. Just unfortunate. Turn your head and exhale and send it. And that concussion blew out everybody's ears. We were all done. And when it blew, I could see the locking mechanism behind it. It looked like a fucking railroad tie was stuck down. So big New York lock, and we weren't getting through it. But it blew out a slat about waist high down, about this wide. And grenades started coming out of it. Accurate. So the way it was, it's the front door, and there's a long ass hallway going down. And there's a dude who's in a sandbag position with a belt fed at the end of the hallway. And it's just chewing down the hallway. There's a dude in the first room off to the right who's shooting at us through the window. So I've got my shooting buddy pinned. He's taking fire over this shoulder, and he's taking fire down the hallway, and he can't move. He can't do anything. It's like a big railing. We've got all the rest of the guys on, so we're the only 3 that are stuck on there. We're trying to get this door open. Let me back up. When I placed the charge, I roll back and I look at him, and I was like, turning steel. And I turned my head and I blew it. And when I looked back up, he was gone. And I looked down and I saw the hole, and I thought he went. And I dropped to my knees and I start going for the door, and my team leader's pulling me back. I guess he had jumped over the wall. I thought he went. And I was not going to let that fucking dude go alone. I'm on my hands and knees trying to crawl through this fucking hole, and he's pulling me back. Like, we're good, we're good. Well, now we can't get out. This thing's been going on for a couple minutes. The guys on the second deck are in the same shitstorm. The guys on the roof are in the exact same thing. Now there's people that are surrounding us we're taking fire from. The whole thing's getting dicey. And we've got to fucking leave. Like, we can't sit here and do this for another 10 more minutes. Like, you're not going to let us kill this guy. We can. We've got to get out. Unfortunately for us, the only egress route was directly behind us, which is directly in line with that dude's PK. So the only way out is to run straight through his alley. Can't go up and over the walls. There's not enough time. We don't have enough ladders, and there's quite a few guys inside the courtyard. We're trading grenades back and forth with this dude, and it finally comes time. The enemy QRF is upon us. and they were in technicals heading our way, and we got to fucking go. So, look at the TL. What do you want, man? And he's like, get ready for an RPG. I'm like, oh fuck. I mean, like bells already rang. Like we got shit coming out of our nose. Like we're super concussed. And we ate for the guys that know, I mean, we ate a 1,200 grain ECT from arm's length away.
Jesus.
No ear probe, and we just sent it. I mean, I know what that charge is going to do. The overpressure is going to fuck me up, but it's not going to blow me up. I know what that charge will do and what it won't, and I was confident in it. And we had to send it. There was no other way. I wasn't going to turn around and leave without giving it every bit of effort I could. And I look back at him, and I don't know how the fuck we're going to get out of here. It's like, get a T-bomb. So my buddy was down in the courtyard. He had the T-bomb because we had to swim in a bunch of this shit. So we had spread loaded a bunch of stuff. So I'd already launched one in, and I looked at him, and we did a real world flea flicker, which is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Like, fucking threw it across the doorway, caught it, untaped it, and launched it. But it was funny. It was so funny to see the TL. He's like pushing on the walls. He's like doing the math in his head. Like, this means square feet, the concussion, this overpressure. What's it going to do to us? And we launched it. We sent a bunch of rounds down there and basically called for exfil. Like, hey, I'm gonna let this thing loose, this overpressure charge, and then when it goes boom, we're all going to take off and run. And that's what we did. And I'm doing the peekaboo thing. He's shooting. I'm trying to see where he is. And I finally see it. And I've got that T-bomb. Like, you ready? Pull the pin, and I launched the most beautiful toss I've ever had. And when I turned, the overpressure was so bad it blew me off the porch. And we took off at a dead run as fast as we could go. Had a big guy there blow through the gate. We didn't even open the gate. Everybody came up and over. That's how it was taking too long. We didn't have time to fuck with it. So he shouldered the gate and blew through it. That's how we got out. And that dude never skipped a beat firing that PK. Never.
Wow. Like
I threw a T-bomb, essentially what I thought, in that dude's lap. Nothing. Continued. I don't know how he didn't shoot us. I don't know how he didn't. Shot one of the recce guys off the ladder, like chewing up the wall that he was on. I mean, fucking crazy. Just the continuous hate that was coming out of the thing. We made it back down. We got a quick head count. We had everybody there. The enemy's massing, and we got to get the fuck out. And the surf was shitty. So the extract platform, long story short, gets rolled over in the surf zone. So now this whole thing, it happens on exfil, just in the confusion and everything else, just trying to get boats in alignment. And I mean, we had dudes get not left out at sea, but basically like, this is such a shit show right now, and it is so fucking dangerous. We're just going to swim as far as we can. We turn on an iris strobe and we just swam. Got picked up by a bunch of exfil platforms and everything else. But in the course of that, essentially the only way to get out is I grabbed a hold of the bow line and I wrapped it around my wrist, and I had them tow me out on a Zodiac. And when they picked up enough speed, the wake, it spun me and it popped my shoulder. So now my arm it's essentially paralyzed. Like, it's not working. It's like, holy fuck. I do the exact same thing and I wrap it up with this one. The same thing. Pow. Like, oh my God. Now I'm treading water. Like, I've got use of my arms, but it feels like it dislocated. Like, it feels strange. An exorbitant amount of pain.
Holy crap. There is so much that's going on in that. Like, the discipline on their part to not I didn't hear him say that they were shooting or shooting back. I'm sure they must have been doing something to try to suppress the enemy. I don't know. They were tasked in there to go and capture this person. But the whole setup, like the intel was pretty poor. The approach to target, the swim, great white shark land, a slaughterhouse offshoot, like, and fastest that they've ever swum. The line that he said he saw, a string, which was likely probably some sort of early warning detection. Their ability to amass the troops and react and respond and start getting rounds downrange onto DJ and his team that were in there. I think he said guys that were up on the roof, 3 different levels, a fortress, not being able to see clearly by the sounds of things anyway. Just the overpressure with the charges used to try to blow the doors to get in, not being able to get in. DJ looking to crawl in because he thought once he'd blown it and then he saw a hole and his mate that was there, shooting buddy, wasn't there. He thought that he had gone in. And then he's trying to crawl to get through that hole and the team leader drags him back and says, no, it's good that, the other team members and that have the awareness, and the team leader saw and knew that the other team member hadn't gone through the hole. He had jumped over somewhere else. It's just, man, but the fact that their ears and that are gone and been blown with that amount of, that much ordnance and the charges that they're using and just the confined space that it sounds like that they're in. Far out, man. The PK machine gun, line of sight down the doorway, what he's describing, it's a miracle that nobody, or that he and his team in that particular area, that they didn't get dropped, or that at least one of them didn't get dropped. Not that we're hoping for that to happen, but just, man, what he's describing there is just seems crazy. But grateful that happened and that the shooter on that gun didn't hit any of them. But far out, what a nasty firefight. I just take notice of that now in terms of the timestamp. Bloody nasty firefight, all right. And going in there with the intent to capture the person and to not kill them. Rather you shoot them, what was it, 100 times and they not die, then shoot them once and they die? Holy heck. And then to hear him, like, we're committed. That's what you want us to do? That's what we signed up for. Yep, here we are. Like, we'll go do it. Far out. What a mad firefight. Sorry if this seemed a little bit disjointed. For whatever reason, the recording stopped on here, so I've had to pause this. I'm going to try to edit it and find out where it is, and then I've had to re-record. But man, this is hectic, eh? Chaotic. Just there. This is why I mentioned, the amount of experience, operational experience, close combat experience that America has. And it's second to none, eh? Like, the beast that it is, the force that they are, their ability to mobilize and occupy space and territory and launch from anywhere in the world. I mean, we're seeing it now with regards to what's happening between Israel and Iran. And man, it is, we are blessed. We're privileged and fortunate to be part of the same coalition, to be on the same side, Not that I don't think NZ's got anything that people want to come here and dominate and take over anyway. But who knows, maybe. But it is my humble opinion, it's great to be on the same side as the US, as Australia, as the UK, as Canada, and any other coalition forces that want to be on the side of, in my biased opinion, be on the side of good. That may cause some anger from some people. Hey, that's just my opinion, eh? And opinions are like noses, everybody's got one. So take it or leave it. Anyway, let's get back to DJ.
We get on a jet ski, round 2, and that thing flips. And because we're straddling it, the way it flipped with such force, it blew out this, blew out the label of my right hip and my left hip. So now I'm essentially bobbing like a bag of shit.
Jesus Christ.
So me and my swim buddy, we make it out. We get on there. We do our debrief. They strip us down naked. With all those frags that we ate, everything, none of the frags stuck in us. I mean, we were super concussed. We were fucked up. But you could brush it, and it was like metal shavings everywhere. It was like God came down and just said, "Not today." I mean, it was inside your ears, inside your eyelids, fucking everywhere. I mean, it was the strangest thing. We got back on. We started doing like the TBI reporting. What's your name? And I was feeling fucking weird. The 3 guys who were on that porch were feeling very weird. And you couldn't explain it. Because I've been knocked out a bunch with Fight Club and skateboarding. Like, I am no stranger to concussion. This is very different. I went into a med check and they shined the eyes the white light in my eyes, and I threw up. And then I started getting scared. I still can't hear shit. Both my ears are perfed. I've got a bunch of other wounds pre-existing that are nasty. I've got a nasty stomach infection, like an open wound that I had. We had to surgically super glue before we did it. So I had all kinds of shit I was battling anyway, and it kept getting worse. We finally got back to base. It's 5 days later. And I remember laying in my bed with my sunglasses on, wanting to die. I didn't know what the fuck was going on with me. I couldn't make rhyme or reason. I couldn't get my thoughts together. I couldn't get anything. I couldn't be there for the debrief. I was fucking out of it. And I didn't know what was going on. And they drove me to a French hospital out in town, and they ran a CT scan. In the back of my skull, right back here, was jet black in my brain. And the doctor came back, and she's like, what is that? I was like, I don't know, you tell me. And she's like, I don't know how you're standing right now. She's like, that's a major blow to the back of your head. Nothing hit me in the back of the head. She's like, well, something did. I don't remember any of that. I remember seeing the MRI, and I remember just telling them, like, that's just overpressure, man. Like, that's just overpressure. And they said whatever they did, it got documented. We finish all that and we fly home. I'm on the next flight home. It's in a deployment. That's the last thing to happen. We fly home, and I land, and I have a 6-month-old waiting for me. I land, I drive straight home, and there is a newborn laying in that crib. Be dad. And dude, the next 48 hours of my fucking life, I didn't even know what to say. I couldn't, everything started to go to shit. I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember my wife's name. I couldn't remember my daughter's name. I got lost driving to fucking work. You've been in Virginia Beach. I called my wife one time in the fucking Norfolk Scope parking lot, crying my eyes out. I don't know where the fuck I'm at. Amnesia set in. I'd wake up in places. I'd go to drive to work on a Sunday, and I'd end up at like the farmer's market. I called Patsy. I was like, I don't know where the fuck I'm at. I couldn't remember anything. And I had no rhyme or reason. I couldn't say it to anybody, but everybody else was having the exact same fucking thing going on.
Holy crap, man. So glad that he's in a good space now, eh? But far out. Imagine going through that and being on your own, not knowing who to reach out to. At least, thankfully, he had his wife, Patsy, to be able to call. And just the strength of her, eh? Like, to be able to be strong enough to cope with and be there for him during all of this. Also considering what she's already been through. Holding down the home, the children, looking after the children, looking after her husband. Far out. The stuff that he went through, which I've neglected to talk about as well when I was talking earlier, getting dragged out by the Zodiac and wrapping it around his wrist, and then getting flipped through the wake and popping his shoulder, wrapped a piece of rope around the other one, and then the same thing happened, then popping that shoulder, then the jet ski, something about the jet ski as well, and then that flipping through and taking out and blanking messing up his hips. Far out, man. Held together. He already had an open stomach wound, something going on before they deployed, so super glued it closed. Man, there's just so many things that that could go wrong, eh? And then you top it all off with the task itself. Doesn't sound like they managed to get the person that they went in for. Not surprised with that type of reception waiting for them, which sounds like it was very well planned, rehearsed, and they were ready to go and expecting potentially people might come through the slaughterhouse offshoot. Far out, man. And then just the aftermath of all of that, eh? And what he's been going through, or what he went through, I should say, post all of that. Forgetting where he was, the black mass in the back of his brain. Man. Just, I guess, the parts that all of that stands out to me, but another part that stands out to me is just how resilient our bodies are, eh? Like, I've not been through anything at all remotely close to what he's been through. and or other people in that as well, with the reactions that I've done to Christian Craighead and what he went through in his accident before doing selection and stuff. But man, it just blows my mind at how resilient our bodies are and how capable they are of healing themselves. A lot of the times, don't get me wrong, obviously there's a lot of things that our bodies don't, unfortunately, heal and recover themselves from. But man, when you hear some of the stories like this and other people that have been through some very traumatic and hard things, it just makes me grateful, to be honest, for the body that we have, and the opportunity that we have to use it and or lose it, So anyway, let's carry on here. What have we got? Let's go for a few more minutes, and then I'll look to wrap up, and hopefully I can piece this video together after the blinking unplanned stoppage that the phone had with regards to recording.
And it was only getting worse. Every day it would get worse, and the headaches were so bad. The photophobia was so bad. I wore sunglasses for years. I did until we got it under control. I remember coming to one day. I was in the gym out in town, wife doing CrossFit or some shit, and I woke up. I'm flat on my back, and I'm looking up at her, and she's kneeling over me, and she is bawling her eyes out, like tears are falling on my face. And I look at her, and I was like, what's going on? She's like, what the fuck have you been? She's like, you've been laying there for 15 minutes. I don't remember going to the gym. I don't remember doing anything. I don't remember anything about that morning. I don't remember that night. I don't remember shit. Like my long-term memory, people, places, things, like it escapes me. It does. And it was getting real bad, and we had a heavy breaching trip coming up. And my boss at the time knew I was in a fucking jam. Like, he knew I was. He didn't know how bad, but he's like, I don't think you should go on this breaching trip, man. He's like, you're good. You're current. There's no reason to go down there and ring your bell any more than you need to. Just take some time off. Okay. And I didn't want to. And I end up going down to medical to fill out some kind of paperwork or something. I'm having a conversation with one of the docs there. And I don't know how I said it. I don't know what I said, but it was something to the effect of, I don't know if I'm going to kill myself or kill my wife, but there is something going on with me, and you have to fucking stop me. And the next thing I remember is the command doc, the command psych, who's a fucking angel, and my boss, are sitting in a chair with their hands on my shoulder, giving me Valium, telling me it'll be okay. And then I go to NICO.
No.
So my trip to NICO was not something I wanted. I was in a bad jam, and when I showed up there, like, I didn't know what was going on with me. I had no idea.
Well, before we get into NICO, I talked to your wife for maybe 45 minutes the other day, and she had some kind of intuition while that op was going on that you were in trouble. She said she just felt something, and sure as shit, she was right. So you got home. She said one of the first things she noticed was your dinner was right in front of you, and you didn't even realize it. And you're asking, when the fuck are we gonna have dinner? She's like, dinner's right in front of you.
She took one. I'd pull up videos on her phone because I know she was sending them to people. There was a video specifically. I was cutting steak, and it was like 6 minutes, just over and over the same piece, just cutting it. I'd go into these trances, and I remember it now, like going into a trance and telling myself to come out of it, and I couldn't. I'd forget to come out of it. I would. I'd lose track of time. I didn't know. I thought I was going fucking crazy. And then it was the whole CTE thing was coming on board, and it's like, yep, this is exactly what this shit is. Like, everything got super dark.
Right. It's heavy, man. This is heavy. Like, I'm here for it. I'm really enjoying listening to this, but just feel really sad for him, having gone through that. Super stoked that he's blank and looks like he's out of the woods of all that stuff now with what he does and healed and recovered, which is awesome. But man, just it's heavy for his wife, Patsy for his family, likely for his friends that know him. Man, if you were the medic and you heard one of the operators, a unit like DJ, say those words, I don't know whether I'm going to, what did he say? He said he didn't know whether he was going to kill himself or kill his wife, but you have to stop me. Holy heck. That must have hit that medic or that doctor, whoever it was, that medical professional, super hard. And they must have been, concerned and worried for him, for the wife, etc. But far out, man. There's some heavy stuff there, and what he's carried. I don't know what sort of support. Maybe he'll talk about it later, but what type of other support that he may have received. I like to think that he received a lot of support. Clearly, he had a good leader who observed that there was something going on, and telling him, "You're current. You don't need to go down and do the breaching stuff." But to a degree, operators, when you're in that environment, you're going to look to, I'm good. I'm okay. I'm all right for as long as you can, if you can, until things come undone. And I don't think, personally, I can't speak for DJ, but I don't think it's a pride or ego thing. I think it's just the genuine, you don't want to let your mates down. You want to be in that job and you want to do that job. You've been trusted to do it and you don't want to let your mates down. At the same time, the flip side of that is, am I physically and mentally capable of doing this job to the standard that's required and to what I signed up for? And that's in respect of the people that I'm going into battle with or into those situations with. Can I function the way that I'm supposed to? And if you can't answer those questions honestly, then you shouldn't be going on that task or that job. For future ones, I'm not talking about the one where they got into that nasty firefight. I think everything was good apart from his stomach and stuff there. And then all the stuff has happened post that particular event. It's starting to make sense to me now because I think DJ was medically discharged from where he was within DevGru SEAL Team 6. Man, I'm not surprised with all of that stuff that he's had going on, but glad to see and hear at least what it looks like that he's in a good space now. So anyway, appreciate your time. I'm going to wrap this one up here. Appreciate your support. If you stuck around this long, would love to hear your comments and your thoughts about this. This is some heavy stuff in here right now. Super grateful to those people that have recommended this. We're getting there. Like I said, there's about a little over an hour left to go, hour and a half thereabouts of this particular interview. And just have been really enjoying chipping away at this. That aside, as always, anybody going through any difficulties, hard times, challenges, heartache, I just encourage you to keep turning up, to keep staying in the fight, to know that you're not alone, to stay as consistent and as disciplined as you can, and to just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Know and trust that the sun will shine again, that there are better days ahead, that those better days are closer than you think, and that that there is a light at the end of that long, dark, and lonely, miserable tunnel. So stick at it, keep fighting. As always, go always a little further. Remember, who dares wins and who cares wins. And until the next video, there's a big mana wave filled with my aroha, respect, appreciation, and gratitude for you all.